What's up, all day family? It's Brett. It's Lofa on vacation. I have found a big pink chair in the guest room at my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house, deep in the woods of Alabama. Lofa is rocking the pink elephant car wash homage all day
Oh yeah.
sweatshirt in solidarity. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Start loading up the comments, load up the chat. What do you want to hear us talk about when it comes to this Jets game? Lofa, my first question to you right off the bat here, man, is just this one should be an easy one. And if it's not, we got problems. I think the hardest thing for the Seahawks this weekend should be the jet lag.
Man, what scares me is every time you're not worried,
Oh, no.
I get worried. So it should be, right? But there's no guaranteed victories. It's any given Sunday. Yeah, I know Aaron Rodgers hasn't played his best, but, they're like an injured dog being on the verge of mathematical elimination. So I'm not counting anything out in terms of how hard or easy this game is going to be.
Okay, but the Seahawks just retook first place in the NFC West. They should be wanting to put their flag on, not on only division, but the rest of the NFL. No more up and down. We need to find some consistency. So the motivation for the Seahawks to prove and to get the respect that I think they want to get, I think it should be motivation for us.
Oh, brother, there's always motivation as a competitor, as a professional athlete, but you're absolutely right. Because once, anybody can do it once. Twice, that's a coincidence. 3 wins, though. 3 wins, ladies and gentlemen. That is a pattern. That is a streak. And so we have to start this streak towards the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, what about a revenge game for Geno? Has he played the Jets with us before? Have we done this? How about just for Geno Smith going back to New York and trying to put it on them?
Yeah, I can't recall getting to play Geno getting to play the Jets. So we'll see. But yeah, you always, think about, and this is why I'm such a believer in Geno with all of this stuff that's gone through, have to sitting on the bench like 7-8 years before he finally got his chance, again. You get to face one of the teams that, I'm going to say let him down in terms of as an organization. It's not just him, right? We're going to talk patterns like I was just talking. Him, Sam Darnold, and Zach Wilson, right? And then now even Aaron's not looking great.
Totally. The chat over here reminding me, and I instantly remember, first year that Geno was a starter for the team. We played the Jets. We beat them. Took care of business. They need to take care of business again this weekend. I mean, the Jets are a team that's reeling. They're in disarray. They've had all the problems with the coaches, with the player personnel in and out. Who's really in charge of the team anyway? It's a soap opera over there, man. The other New York team was able to come in and take one on us this year. We cannot let that happen. And we've been playing good on the road. So it's not that I'm not nervous for this one or that I'm feeling overconfident. I just feel like we need to be the team who everyone wants us to be and who we think we should be. I mean, frankly, like not overconfident, just confident, go in, take care of business trip, get the W, get out of there.
Yeah, partner. Amen. And I think that you thought that we are who you think we are. Business trip, but the whole thing, just we look like a completely different team coming out of the bye, right? Go to Santa Clara, take care of business, dramatic fashion, right? But that was one must have. Come home, Cardinals, who were in first, like for a couple weeks, took care of business, right? Kyler, who he scares the shit out of me. That guy is a beast. Held them to 40-something yards total rushing. We were one of the worst rush defenses going into the bye. All the changes, we look like an entirely different team. That's why I'm not nervous, right? But I am just, I got to see how it goes. I can't even tell you, confidently what's going to go down, but I expect our defense to continue to make strides, and I hope our offense which we'll probably get to now, is some of the news with the O-line.
Yeah, exactly. So the news right now, guys, Anthony Bradford heads to the IR. Who's going to take his spot? It's going to be one of the rookies, probably, right? Haynes. The other guy who we looked up, who don't pronounce his name. No, I mean, my question for you in all that is, regardless of who's there or who steps in, it's just another bummer that we can't have some consistency week to week on this O-line. I mean, how are they? They're going to constantly be the source of the story and the source of everyone's ire, especially if it's not the same guy week to week.
Brother,
what do we expect?
I mean, yeah, and I feel for the guys that are injured, right? It's not like they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this week off, boys. Take a smoke break. You got this one. I feel bad for Grubb. Feel bad for Gino. The run game has been non-existent because of this problem. And so we've been trying to manufacture runs with the quick screen, which had a couple nice ones, to Sharbs, to JSN, who's really coming to his own the last several weeks. I mean, if he continues his trend and trajectory, maybe you don't need a run game, but it'd be nice to have one.
Yeah. Well, I think the storyline of this game is going to be our defense and when all is said and done. I see some more turnovers, hopefully. I see some more confidence going with them, hopefully. And hopefully, Gino and the offense just have to do what they, sort of need to do. 17 points, 20 points, something like that should get it done. And the defense will take care of the rest.
Yeah, just protect the ball on offense. We have gotten rid of the penalties. I've never seen such a turnaround. Never seen a team be one of the most penalized, go on bye week, and then come back a completely different team. Like, I think it was 5 each of the last 2 games, 5 each game or something like that. And we were getting 8 to 10, like averaging before that. And so it's been awesome to see. Incredible discipline, but I just see a totally different team out there. One that is really coming together, and it looks like they're poised to make a playoff run.
If you guys are feeling confident like I am about this game, go to betonline.ag, or you could use their mobile app available in any app store. They're the number one betting site, most trusted betting site in the sports world. They also have a 24/7 online casino that never closes, full of slots and blackjack and poker and all kinds of other stuff, along with all of the sports wagering that you want. betonline.ag, where the game starts. Is old man Rodgers any good anymore? And what is up with the Jets in general? I mean, there's a lot of questions here. Let's start with Aaron. Let's just start with Aaron Rodgers. Who is still Aaron Rodgers, or is he?
I honestly don't know. He doesn't look healthy. And if you're out there, you're assumed healthy. And so I understand that, that's your career and you play or don't if you choose to sit out. But he's a competitor. Draft class of 2005. So I'm still always going to root for him, even though he is my only loss in college in triple overtime in Cal. It's you root for your fellow classmates, and it's impressive he's still doing it. But yeah, he's got the lower leg injury. I don't know if it's the Achilles still or the calf. Like it's hard, man. Like as a quarterback, that's your foundation, to throw the ball, step into it. All the things that, matter when you're throwing the ball. And if anything's off, it's kind of like what I was alluding to when we were talking about Connor Williams, like hell of a player. I was like, he doesn't look healthy. And Aaron just doesn't look healthy. And then look, Connor, up and retired out of nowhere, right?
That's exactly what would make me ask that question about Aaron then. So what should the Jets do with him? And is there any thought, you think, to shutting him down and, saving it for next season or, packing it in for this one? I mean, especially if he's not healthy.
I don't know the particulars. I hear you. I don't know the particulars of his contract. And like, that's got to play a factor for any GM, any owner. I'm sure those conversations are had behind closed doors. It's like, okay, the risk, we, on the verge of elimination, but we still believe in him. He's a great quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. So do we shut him down? Do we, stay the course and just trust that, hopefully take it week by week? But, just down the road, the Giants, they had that difficult decision to make, and they let Daniel Jones walk because if he got hurt, it would be an additional 50 or 60 million owed to him for injury. So you don't envy those positions of responsibility when you have to make those kind of decisions, man. But
yeah,
it's kind of one of those things. Everybody like, oh, well, you don't ever want to give up on a season. But I understand where some fans are like, oh, well, just like, the season's realistically over. And then like, are we going to dig a deeper hole with an injury potential? So,
yeah. Well, I mean, what is going on with the New York Jets stuff? I mean, it's a Seahawks podcast, but I'm into the entertaining storylines and a bit of the soap opera that is, the NFL sometimes. Like, just what is up with this team? They fire the coach, they got an interim coach. Rodgers is almost like making GM decisions with the way that he's bringing in his friends, but nothing really seems to have worked out.
No, you're right. And it's when situations like this happen, I really think it always points to a culture issue from the very top all the way through, and it just trickles down, right? It's coaches are replaced because they haven't built something sustainable in terms of, we're in the business of winning, ladies and gentlemen. We're not in the business of football. We're winning fucking games. And this is the NFL, and there's not going to be any excuses, tolerated. And so that's why you see a lot of coaches move on, and it's a tough industry or a tough job as a coach. Like, you never know where you could be in a year. And but yeah, I just, and I played for Saleh. I believe in him. He's a hell of a coach. I played for Brick, who is now the interim head coach. Hell of a guy that you would love to play for. But you don't know what decisions behind closed doors are made in terms of like, hey, we can't play that guy, or then a guy gets traded and you're kind of counting on him. It's tough, man. Like, it's tough decisions.
Well, it doesn't seem like it was Saleh's fault looking back on it now. It's not like the team just quickly turned it around and everything started going in the right direction. Cutting him loose seemed more like a sort of not like a political move, like a PR move almost, or something,
I know what you're saying. No. And like I said, him, hell of a coach, but you take one sharp football mind out of that building, it's hard for things I can't see him standing in the way of anything, that was, wanting to be put into motion. Right. He's a guy, like I said, I don't want to say players coach. That term gets thrown around a lot, but you see his energy, his enthusiasm when he's on the sideline. He helps transfer some of that energy in terms of excitement. And like when he was the coordinator for the Niners and you saw him fist pumping on the sideline, and I'm pretty sure he got some of it from Pete, who did it up here. And, he coached for Pete. So I guarantee you he brought the best of what he knows to that organization. So it's just, for whatever reason, sometimes it does not work. And the pattern seems to be some of these organizations.
Yeah. You guys, we got a lot to get to here on this show, and thank you guys for joining again. Start filling up the chat. Questions specifically about this Jets games, questions from around the league, questions about your Seahawks right now. What's on your mind? Let us know. I think for me, man, it's like just go in, take care of business, get onto the Cardinals next week. I know I'm not supposed to look ahead, but this game is almost like more of an annoyance than anything else to me right now. And it's if anything, maybe it's a heat check, I guess, for us a little bit. But this is one of those that hopefully when we look back at the end of the season, I don't even remember because we just went in, did the thing, and went home.
Yeah, like a stress-free day, right?
Yeah.
Which, that hasn't been the case with us in recent years. But I just, I think about everything. I think about guys are going to have an extremely short day tomorrow because of Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, by the way. Yeah. And thank you for joining us. You got to travel all the way across the country, right? Just all these factors, it just has me a little uneasy in terms of, the time change, everything. You have to just go in, like you said, and take care of business.
Speaking of taking care of business, Thanksgiving, what's the first thing you go for food-wise on the table when you want to take care of business? What's the
Probably
first thing you
beer.
gotta get for the beer?
Was that not
Actually,
wrong answer? Oh,
no,
you said food. Oh, you said
good
food
answer.
wise at the end.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. Actually, going back for a second, just for fun, because why the hell not? The rumor mill swirls in circles. But you brought up Pete. You brought up Saleh. People are throwing Pete's name in as the next head coach of the New York Football Jets. What do you think about that?
I said Pete will coach again. I'm sticking to my guns, right? Just I've seen him a couple times in passing over here, just either at functions or charity events, and guy still does a lot in the community, and I'm grateful for him for doing that. Right, time to be thankful. I'm thankful for Pete, but he has so much energy left in terms and knowledge, and I don't see him. For me, I would like to see him done only because when his last few years were the most masterful coaching job I've ever seen by him. Yes, I know he's got rings at both levels. He's going to be Hall of Fame for both college and NFL. But when everybody said he's old, he doesn't have the fastball anymore, they didn't believe in Geno either. They found a way to rally and win. 9-8 both years, right? Yeah. Playoffs 1 year, lead on the Niners in Santa Clara. And then we got very tired on defense and decimated, but that's besides the point. All right. It was just incredible. And when I watched through my TV or I went to any of the games, he looked genuinely happy. Like I still got it. And so, what we've always said it, even KJ has two on here. Everyone's got an expiration date in this league, whether you're a player, you're a coach, you're a GM, just is what it is. But, I guarantee you he can still coach.
Melon hats, everybody. You see Lofa and I rocking these melon hats, MELIN. Go check them out. They're pretty awesome. This little rubber stamp thing here on the bottom, you get used to it pretty fast. Your thumb finds it nice and easy. Also, there's a little pocket on the inside of the front of it here. There's a little pocket. You slip some cash in there. They're waterproof. Actually, they're not even waterproof. They're afraid of water. They're hydrophobic, actually.
Water's afraid of them.
Yeah, water's afraid of the hat. Yeah, they're the best, everybody. Melon hats, MELIN.com. Check them out. Honestly, I didn't think a hat could be this comfortable. You really can't even understand what we're talking about until you try it. Melon, MELIN. Got a lot to get to here. Like I said, we got our score predictions. We have the Q&A, which we're going to open up very shortly to you guys. But Chenna practicing again. I don't know if there's an official word on him coming back for this game or not. I think they play that pretty close to the chest. But either way, that would be huge to get him back. Hopefully when he comes back this time, he can stay back for a little bit longer. We need him.
Yeah. That to your point right there, partner. Like, I just don't rush back. We're not doing fine without him. This is an emotional, intense, like spiritual, like a leader out there. And like for the years past that he's got hurt, one on IR, once with the torn pec, we lost some of our nastiness, some of that edge. I mean, pun intended, because he plays rush edge. But it was awesome seeing him just kick people's ass, right? So you get him back in the mix, and it's just going to be awesome to watch because the edges have been playing great. Mafe Hall, everybody, Draymond out there, like they're all chipping in, but you really miss a guy like Chenna when he's out of the lineup.
Yeah. Signed a couple more guys, brought Patty O'Connell back from the practice squad. I know you love the linebacking leprechaun.
That's a shirt that I am going to make. Patrick O'Connell.
Yeah.
All the way from Missoula, Montana. Yeah. He's just, when I was watching tape on him in college, he was just a well-rounded. It's almost like all the guys that we have that McDonald really appreciates. It's, the guys, they get lined up, they get their job done, but they can run stuff. They can rush the passer. They can play coverage. So like the well-roundedness, it's really something I've always appreciated when I watched other players in the NFL. There's just guys that could do everything. Darryl Smith, who is wildly underrated. I always thought he was a middle linebacker. The guy goes in year 12 from Jacksonville, where he was like there the whole time, makes the Pro Bowl his first year in Baltimore. Like, if that's not saying something about how well-rounded he is, because it's hard to come to a new city, take ownership of the defense in the terms of being the verbal leader out there and commander, and still perform at a high level, because he wasn't asked to do that in Jacksonville. So I always thought he was awesome. David Harris from the Jets, man. If you put the first 5 years of Patrick Willis and him together, I promise you couldn't tell who was who, with the sacks, the production, the interceptions, the forced fumble. And they were both on top 5 defenses, but like the numbers were eerily similar.
We also signed some help in the secondary. If I try to bring up the website that'll give me his name, our whole thing will crash here. So help me out.
Do you want me to find it?
Chargers. We're bringing a kid from the Chargers to add some depth there in the secondary. Looking back on the Cardinals game, and I know you love Spoon, and I'll give you a chance to talk about Spoon, I guess, here, but just sticking with the secondary and sticking with guys making plays. I mean, it's Spoon. I see him getting a turnover in this one finally. But even if he doesn't get turnovers, he's causing turnovers. And, looking back at that Kobe Bryant play, and we said it at the time, but even just watching it, in the days and whatever afterwards, Spoon makes the whole play there. And I just can't wait to see him play this weekend, man. He's just must-see TV.
Partner, that is just on any quarterback. Never mind Kyler Murray. That is one of the hardest things asked of any player, to get down on the crack replace and hold the edge. And then, if he bounces and he can run, he can fly. But what I took away from that when I watched it again was he did the little things, the details that great players do. A lot of guys just walk into the backfield and they don't get their arm on the tight end or whoever's coming down, the receiver, to crack. That leverage of putting your hand there allows you to push off and redirect very quickly, and he's already insanely fast. Kyler looked surprised, like, holy shit, this guy's already back in the lane. And then he went for the near hand bat, which is like, he's never been taught this. This is just natural instinct. Like, he's been out there covering guys his whole life. Never played nickel that I saw in college. And he's thrown in there missing a bunch of camp, and he just makes the Pro Bowl. It is absolutely insane. And then the block he got on Connor, that was the craziest part. Great job by Kobe. Not just catching it, but housing it. Yeah. Amen on the unbelievable celebration. Homage to the Beast. Yeah. But if you watch that, Connor was making up ground quickly. And I was like, damn. Like, when I watch football, effort jumps out to me. And that was great effort by him. Spoon comes out of nowhere. I think he was out of bounds. That's how far he was out. Turned around and just lays his body out there. All 180 pounds.
Yeah. 180 pounds of effort.
Oh, heart. All heart. And
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, programming note. We talked about the flag for the after the touchdown, right? And we kind of assumed it was on Kobe for grabbing the onions flying across the goal line, but actually the flag was on Spoon for taunting, and he talked about it. They asked him in the presser this week or something about it, and Spoon said, "You know what? That one's absolutely on me. I was taunting." You're damn right I was. I kind of like the answer, just kind of doubling down. Like, I would do it again, because it was a big moment. And I like him talking shit. Good.
I love talking shit. I used to love doing it when I was out there. But it's understanding the situation. You're up 3 touchdowns. You talk whatever you want. You get as many fines as you want. Like, True. That pushed our extra point back. And that's true. We didn't make that. I guess
I was just happy to see that it wasn't on the nut grab, though. So there you go. He's off the hook.
But
I'm sure you can do the.
I'm sure Kobe got a FedEx in his locker on Wednesday.
That's how they.
When you when you show up on Wednesday and there's just a FedEx, nothing else, just sitting on the seat of your locker, you're just like, fuck.
Not good. Yeah. I just think it's
No
funny how
fun league.
times have changed though, because Marshawn did that. And, I don't even know if the coverage showed it twice. You kind of had to just know that he did it. And then, it kind of became something that everyone talks about. I don't think the Seahawks accounts were putting up still photos of it, but man, have they had fun with this Kobe one. Every day there's a new picture of his celly.
The times have changed, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Times have changed, but yeah. And, I was there live when Marshawn did it. I don't remember it. I was knocked out. So.
Well, you don't remember for a different reason. Yeah. I don't remember because I was just jumping up and down and going crazy wherever I was. We're going to wear – the Seahawks are going to wear white jerseys on the navy blue pants. That's the combo for this weekend. Probably paying homage to the Super Bowl team that played in MetLife. Wasn't that what we wore when we took on Peyton?
I believe so. Yeah, I can still see. Yeah, because I still see Malcolm Smith getting that pick and housing it.
Yeah,
amazing.
So that's the combo we're going with. So hopefully that'll bring us some good luck in the game there. I want to get to the Q&A. I want to open it up here to the All Day family and their comments and questions. So let's get to our score prediction and let everybody know what the score is going to be, even though neither one of us have ever nailed it, ever.
I almost did.
Score prediction, you guys, brought to us by Simply Seattle, our good friends at Simply Seattle. If you nail the score of the Seahawks game by predicting it underneath our Instagram post that we collab with Simply Seattle on that, you could be entered for a chance to win a gift card from Simply Seattle. And that amount has gotten high. I think the highest it's ever been is $275. It started back at $0 because someone won it a few weeks ago. So I think it's up to 50 or 75 now. Somebody help me, producer Katie. Or
I'm gonna say 75, and I'll chip in a 25 spot if I'm wrong.
There you go. Either way, get your score predictions in on that post on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram at All Day Family. And shout out to the All Day Family on Instagram. We've just passed 2,000 followers. So thank you guys for hitting the follow button over there. Tell the rest of your friends. Let's double and triple that thing here. Lofa, how do you see this thing going down?
I feel like
you don't want to get overconfident, do you?
I don't. Yeah. But I feel like the offense gets on track. And I'm telling you, I love what I'm seeing with the low penalties. The offense gets on track, and we just protect the ball. And then those turnovers are going to come. I saw T. Knight rip at 3 of them. I saw Spoon punch at 2 or 3 of them. Creatures of habit. We keep doing that, good things are going to happen. So love the effort. All the guys are showing offense and defense. But I got us 20. No, I'm going to go 34.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to score. Then I'll give them 20.
Okay. I think I'm not going to go 34, but I think the offense gets it in gear somewhat. I think it's still going to be a bit tough to run the ball because of just the inconsistency of the offensive line. So a lot's going to be on Geno, but he gets it done. I think our offense scores 26 points, or actually maybe our offense only scores 20 and the defense chips in with a touchdown and a missed extra point again. And then they only walk away with 17. So it's not, I think somewhere in the beginning of the third quarter, the game will still be a game, but we'll pull away when we need to, and the defense will put them away when we need to. And I think that we hand the Jets and Rodgers and everybody there some early vacation tickets this season. And just put the death nail in their season finally.
I just hope it's a stress-free Sunday, and Geno goes back to the organization that failed him, and he just shows them. That's why I went 34 for old number 7, 3+4.
I love it. I think producer Katie's in here. We can read some comments and some questions. If you guys have questions, comments about anything, we are here as long as you are here to ask them. So start pumping up the chat while I let you know about our sponsor, EpicSeats.com. Local Seattle company doing it well for a very long time. These guys started by just selling their tickets to Sonics games and Mariners games outside the Kingdome and outside the old Key Arena back in the day. And then they turned it into a business and they turned it into a website and they're killing it. epicseats.com, everybody. Let them know that we sent you. They supply 2 tickets to every Seahawks home game for you guys to win. So thanks to them for that. And they're our ticket supplier. So epicseats.com, everybody. Nobody beats Epic Seats. Producer Katie, you got the first one there? I don't know if we're going to have her reading. So
from John Langston.
Yeah. Johnny Langston, of course, first to the chat here. Chenna back, which we just talked about. Looking forward to him coming back. I don't know if that's official still, Johnny, but maybe John has some insider information. I don't know.
Yeah, back to practice. So the 21-day window, we have to activate him. And okay. Like I said, I'm just hoping we rest the big dog.
Right. John continues here. Also, in looking at the Jets, they play lots of man, and Geno eats in man. Looking forward to Geno eating this weekend against his former team. How about it? Geno Smith versus man coverage.
Well, yeah. Look at our receivers, because and Sauce has had a rough year. This is one of the Pro Bowler. And he's been great since he came in the league. But he's had a rough year. There was a post about it, just showing because they do play a lot of man, him just trailing. And so who do you put him on? Because DK will outrun anybody. And
right.
So, but then you got Locke, JSN, who is just balling right now. That defense has their hands full. And I can't wait to see it because there's just too many people. And then the tight ends, and we showed them a lot of love on the live, like Farrow, Barner, they were all balling. And, I can't wait to see more. And then
but then it catches up.
Yeah. So I was just saying the tight ends, get them more involved too, because they're both just physical.
Issues, everybody. I'm not sure if you can hear me. If you can hear Lofa.
It's a little bit. You're going in and out, partner. I don't know how I'm doing. Let us know in the chats if you can hear either of us, because we might just be talking to ourselves right now.
We're just going to stay patient. We're going to, give some pauses and hope that it catches up. Just be, ride the wave here. Stay positive, everybody. Yeah. Next comment. What's next? Here we go. Alina Dahl. Good afternoon, Lofa and Brett. I want our defense to smack Aaron Rodgers to last Thanksgiving for all the Green Bay whacker games against him. F him, LOL. Alina, not a fan of Aaron Rodgers at all.
Man, no, I love everything you said. And, I actually recently, Alina, thank you for joining us, but I made a Green Bay shirt and I wish I used that name rather than the one I used. But you'll see that. Actually, I think it'll release in a week or two. Yeah.
I was going to say, so brand new merch coming out for the Vikings game, merch coming out for the Packers game. And we have merch out for this Jets game currently. So go to alldaybrand.co, check it out. If you scroll back through the chat, they've put a link up to Lofa's pink car wash sweatshirt actually there. But while you're there on the website, you can check out everything else that we got going on. Get the t-shirts for the Jets game. If any of you are going to the Jets game, we need pictures of you wearing the Jets gear. So we can post it. So jump there. What's the next comment here? I don't have the ability to do that, so somebody's got to do this for me.
Alina's
there
back.
It is. Alina again. Do you think Rodgers is becoming like Russell did in Seattle? Too much to say in what goes on with the team? ?
That's a good question, right? They were able to withstand the back and forth at Green Bay with LaFleur and sustain winning, going to all those, at least a couple NFC championships, not successfully winning them, but just being there, right? Gives a lot of the fans something to be excited about. But then he exited rather unceremoniously, and much as Russ did here, and it just, that's what. Remember when we did a podcast about it, and I just didn't like the things I was hearing in the media in terms of I don't want to be traded, but if I did, here's the 3 destinations.
Right.
I was like, that that's too much back and forth in terms of like, no, I'm here, I'm gonna be here, and so, and then you see, just like you said, and some of our all day fans point out, like, he got all the weapons he wanted. He got Lazard. He got Garrett Wilson was already there, who was a beast, and then went out and got Adams, right?
Yeah.
So like, there really should be no learning curve. Like, it should be like, oh, this is how we ran it back, in the day, boys, and just go. And then they got two great running backs in Brees Hall. It kind of similar, and Braylon Allen, kind of similar to our combination of guys. One that can run between the tackles and great option out of the backfield. The other one's just an absolute monster. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who Braylon Allen is, look him up. Look up his career in college. I think he was 16 or 17 his freshman year in college, and just a man amongst boys. And he's doing the same already here as a rookie at 20 years old.
See, I'm not. Their defense doesn't have me worried going up against our offense. To be flat honest with you, like, I think we're going to score. If anything, it's just if Rodgers gets hot, if the running backs, if they stick to the run, like our rush defense has stepped up recently, but that has been a place that teams have been able to get to us, just historically this season. So I could find myself getting nervous if the game starts to go a certain way.
If they stay in it too long, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just think, though, we just got to stick to our game plan. I think whatever that game plan is, I think this coaching staff is going to be ready for this game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just don't bail early. Stick to it. Don't get nervous.
Yeah.
Don't become like me.
Yeah. Have faith and keep going. And another player, they have two players. Great. I already lost my train of thought of their names, but they're brothers that the monster D tackle, not Dexter Lawrence. Oh, he's one of the best D tackles. He's got like 9 sacks already, 10 sacks. And then his brother, Quincy, is the linebacker. Bro, he's like 5'10 and a half, 5'11, 230, and he's just a missile. Like, I think he's number 56. Do me a favor, all day fam. If you want someone that's exciting to watch, kind of reminds you of like a linebacker version of Spoon, just running around and knocking big guys on their ass. It's insane to watch. Did I lose you, Brett? Am I out?
Next comment.
Oh, next comment.
Richard Bird. Is there any plan to watch? Oh, is there any plan for a watch party before the season ends? Also, I think the Jets firing the coach earlier was a bad decision, not his fault. We are trying to put together a watch party, be it an away game or a home game. So stay tuned for that. I think we want to try to get the all-day family together. And then also it being Salah's fault, that we spoke about this earlier, but yeah, I don't think it was his fault. Sometimes teams, they just make these decisions a bit too early. And that's what had me nervous about some of the decisions we were making. We're making these big, bold decisions. Is it going to pay off or not? So far it has.
Yeah. But okay.
I might be talking to myself at this point.
No, I hear you. Am I breaking up now? I would just want, like,
yep.
all of us just think about, put your owner hat on, put your owner melon hat on, right? If I was an owner, I'd probably go backwards, though. Put it backwards. Yeah, there we go. And all right, now that my owner hat's on, dude, am I really gonna fire a guy that I owe like $8 to $10 million a year? No, I will make you serve popcorn, drinks, go do some signings, right? Like I'm just gonna like say, hey, go have a nice vacation, and you're gonna resurface somewhere else and probably win, and I'm gonna regret it. Right?
Yeah. No.
Just doesn't make sense to me.
No. And also that you're going to pay for that person to go somewhere else. That other place he goes doesn't even have to pay him. You're paying him.
Well, but no, this is not like football. As a player, like, you're double dipping. You're getting that previous salary. It's all guaranteed for coaches. You're getting that previous salary, and then you're getting whatever from now. Your negotiating power is probably going to go down when you go to a new team. They're like, well, come on, dude. They're giving you what? How many? It depends on how much they want you, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, life's got to be pretty sweet if you're Robert Saleh, actually. Like, the perception is that it's definitely not your fault based on what's happened since you've left. And, he's still a respected coach, good football mind. I mean, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and he was already consulting, if you want to call it, for LaFleur, who I think they played college ball together.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's going to be fine.
Next comment, Richard Bird again. Also, how about Bryce Young? Actually been playing pretty solid since coming back. Really wanted them to upset the Chiefs. Yeah, it was close there. And they benched him. Everybody was kind of, poking a little fun earlier this season, or talking about the bust word and all that kinds of stuff. But you kind of said on here that sometimes that's what a young guy needs, and he can learn and all that. And Dalton's a good vet to learn behind. So, I mean, I think you kind of called that one there, buddy.
I said he'll be fine. He's won everywhere. And, he just seems, when I watched him play, even though I disagree with them playing him right away, and everyone's like, oh, well, he's the Heisman. He should be ready to play. Yeah, but you have to look at everything. And you looked at how young they were on the O-line or old and injured. And then the receivers, the only one he had, Adam Thielen, was like the only name he had. They got good running backs, but kind of like us until this year, the running game's finally taken off. But before, the craziest thing is they let their leading rusher go every year for 2 straight years. Isn't that the one guy you should probably sign back?
Doesn't work.
So, I'm happy for him, and he looks really good. He looks confident in what he's doing out there. Because when I watch some of these quarterbacks, they got the look on their face like they're confused, probably scared, and adversity is going to rear its ugly head, right? And you don't want the first time you face adversity to be in the NFL. That's the last time. You want to have continually overcame things throughout your football career or high school, like college. Me leaving high school, not having any scholarships, but except for one at 1AA, University of Maine, to play linebacker. Yeah, I had to really ask myself, how bad do I want this? And I did. And so I just kept putting in the work and trusting the process. And it looks like he's doing the same. He's learning a lot from Dalton, I guarantee you.
Yeah. Well, the problem with a lot of these guys coming out of college is when they're so good in college, or their draft stock is so high and all the pundits say they're going to get taken number 1, they get taken by teams that, aren't the best of teams. So it is their first sort of humbling experience, sort of, come to Jesus moment where they got to figure out if they really like it or not, don't they?
I mean, great point, brother, because this ain't basketball. One guy ain't going to change your team. I don't care who it is. I mean, look at who we're playing this week. Aaron Rodgers hasn't changed that team, right? One of the best quarterbacks in the history of the league. So
right.
To expect a 20-year-old, 21-year-old to walk in there and just completely change your team, it's not realistic.
Yeah. Adam, the Island Son, checking in here in the chat. Even though he doesn't have the numbers, Spoon is having a Pro Bowl season, in my opinion, with all the little things that he does for the team. Thoughts? Question mark.
Yeah. No, that's a good observation. It generally does come down to a numbers thing. Also, how many wins do you guys have, right? We are winning. That's going to help. But the numbers, they're not. Johnny Langston had them for me. He's got one of the best coverage ratings though. And that's something a lot to keep in mind when they go to vote. And, there's always going to be a snub. There's going to be someone I had 6 picks and, but Spoon's been doing this now for 2 years, right? He went to the Pro Bowl last year because he did have better numbers, and that could be scheme wise. We're using him a little different, probably more so in coverage. We were sending him a bunch last year, and it was awesome. But a guy does it all, and so it's tough. You use him where he's most valuable to you, and it might not be the most lucrative thing to him in terms of numbers. But great observation, and I still believe he'll go based off of the coverage percentage, and there's still 3 or 4 more games before those votes go down, and just the hits. And especially because I think it used to go players, coaches vote, and then fans vote. But now I'm seeing it's almost more fan voted, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, they lean heavy into the fan vote. I'd say he's going to be there anyway, just because no one ever wants to go to the Pro Bowl. So He'll be a Pro Bowler. I mean, well, hopefully he's not a Pro Bowler because hopefully we're going so far in the playoffs that he can't play. Or when
right?
did they?
Because
it's still
I think they might.
Bowl, right?
They might have moved it back. I don't know. I can't keep track. I mean, because it's an event that nobody even wants to watch or attend.
I know, man. It's kind of a bummer what has happened to the Pro Bowl, or even just being named a Pro Bowler doesn't carry the same weight that it did in your day because, like I said, so many guys don't go. So you're like the third or fourth alternate, and then you're like, hey, I was a Pro Bowler.
I remember one year, like alternates barely went. Like I got lucky. Like Urlacher stepped out, and it was my rookie year. I was the first alternate, and so I went. But like you didn't. Like there was a quarterback because like Brady turned it down. There was so many people that turned it down that I think the 7th alternate went, and then you look at his stats, and it was like, wait, he had just as many interceptions as he did touchdowns. Like then the yards weren't even that great. It's like just like, hey guys, I'm here.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
But like you were saying, the game's changed. All Day Family hasn't heard this yet, and I'll probably tell it again in the future. But my arm was right there by Sean Taylor, God rest his soul. When he hit Brian Moorman from the Bills, they tried to run that fake punt. I'm locked up with Lorenzo Neal, and just if this is one time in life I was happy I was not faster, because if I was, Sean would have just destroyed me. And I'm talking 1/10 of a second, my elbow would have been caught between Sean, who was a lot bigger than me and faster, and Moorman. And I would have just snapped my arm.
Dude, I remember that hit. I can see it in my head if I close my eyes. Pete Rosed him, you know? Pete Rose, it took out the catcher in an all-star game, changed that guy's career. I mean, but is that fair or foul? Should you go that hard in an exhibition all-star game?
Dog only knows one way to play. I was out there hitting as hard as I could. No, dude, and I promise you put pads on, it's a Pro Bowl. Spoon, you'll see a different level of play and intensity from that guy. I know he won't. We can't turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just in our DNA. And that there was a bunch of Miami guys there, and like Sean almost hit one of them. The ball was sailing, and the guy just ducked out of the way. And he looked at him like, "What the hell, Sean?" He was like, "I only know one way to play." And
that's what happened. There was a string of like 2 or 3 Pro Bowls in a row where it was just really laughable, like 2-hand touch, really like just not even anything that resembles the game that we love. And it wasn't when you were there. It was a couple, years ago. Like there was a couple of in a row that just were god awful to watch, and it's never recovered.
Yeah.
Hopefully Spoon's not there to put in that effort.
They got to sweeten the pot.
Yeah, there you go. Alina Dahl has a comment here. I know we're talking Hawks, but how about the score of the UW Quack game? ? Also, good shirt would be a Husky throwing up crackers. Have a good idea for one. How about it here? It's the Quack Cup. It's not the Apple Cup anymore. My dogs are taking on the even more hated Oregon Ducks here on Thanksgiving weekend. Oregon looking to stay perfect. The Huskies looking to I don't know, not spoil. They're going to be a playoff team regardless. So
they'll still be a playoff team, yeah.
Rivalry type stuff. But
yeah. When's that game? I didn't even know that was. Is that this weekend? Friday or Saturday?
Weekend. Yep.
There's a lot of football. I was watching Maction last night, Akron, and I will watch football anytime it's on. I hope UW beats them. And another great shirt would be Duck Hunting, right? The Duck Hunter, the Nintendo one.
Yeah.
With the husky dog with the duck in its mouth.
Yeah. Alina, if you want my real take on this Huskies Ducks game, sit back and just enjoy watching some football, because we're going down to their place. I'm honestly not feeling very confident about it, but then again, it's a rivalry game, so hopefully we can do something about it. But I think going into it, my mindset is just going to be, let's just enjoy watching our team run around out there, and if they come away with it, with the win, you can tell I don't even want to say it. I don't want to. then that's just
What?
icing on the cake.
I got a question for all of you. Husky. I know I'm in Husky territory. Why are the Ducks hated so much? Did they keep you guys? Because they've never won shit. So
The Ducks are hated, I can tell you, because for forever they never won anything, especially against the Huskies. We beat them every single year my entire life, and then one time the Ducks rise up, they get this pick six, they run it back, they win the game, and from that moment on, they just think they're the best thing that ever happened to football, college football, the world of football, and anything ever since. And they're annoying because, like you said, they've never won anything. The best and worst thing about them is all their different uniform combinations, basically. And so it's annoying to have a team profess to be that good or think of themselves in that such a high regard without ever winning shit, to your point. So they're annoying. And also everyone from Washington hates everyone from Oregon and vice versa. It's how it goes, you know? My whole life growing up, if my dad got behind some car with an Oregon plate, he would just talk nothing but shit. I don't know why.
Really?
It's a rivalry, state to state. Nobody
I'll
likes
tell you
them.
what, though. We went to play Oregon State. It's like heavy fog. It was a crazy game. Reggie had like 2 kick returns to the house or something that like bailed us out. Dominique Bird, he balled. Shout out to my dog. But what I really enjoyed about Oregon, it wasn't the Motel 6 that we stayed in. It was that a hat that cost $20 was $20. I was like,
yeah,
no sales tax.
Right.
I was like, well, it's the greatest place ever.
Yeah. Except if you're driving through in the middle of the night, which I often road trip from Cali all the way up to Washington, you hit Oregon sort of in the middle of the night. If you're driving through in the middle of the night, you got to find one that's a gas station that's 24 hours because you have to have someone pump it for it. You know, a lot of times I pull off, there's nobody there. They won't let you get the gas. Yeah.
Whoa, I never knew that. You learn something every day, folks.
Quirky state.
All day, every day.
What a quirky state. Let's take it to them. They got a perfect logo for them though, Lofa. 0.
The best is the shirt or the college game day sign that says like 627 combinations of uniforms. 0 national titles.
That's right. Yeah. Adam the Island Son jumping back in here with a Thanksgiving question. I asked you what dish you go for first. You said beer. What do you put on the side of that beer? What's your favorite Thanksgiving side? Adam wants to know.
Oh, maybe a little chaser of tequila, you know, like get it going, get the engine revved up as I watch this football game. And
yeah,
but no, favorite
just
side.
Like you did at Plymouth Rock.
Right. What? I don't know. What's your side?
Oh man. Well, okay. So my wife is from the South. My wife is from Atlanta, Georgia, and so I come southward every year with her family, and they know how to do food down here. And so there's a lot of like stuff that I didn't grow up with. They make a hash brown casserole that's like hash brown, sour cream, bacon, cheese. So they're doing that instead of mashed potatoes, and I'm a full convert on that. They got like a cream corn casserole too, cream cheese, corn, jalapeno, breadcrumbs on top. Whew, change your life. So those are 2 are good. What else? They do a bunch of weird
greens.
They got like a Jello congealed salad that like your grandmas would have liked, and I don't go near that, but they all swear by it.
Yeah, so. I'm not a big Jello fan. What about greens? I had a teammate. Their mom came into town. She's from the South, and they made collard greens and like the not sweet potato, candied yams. I was just like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, they throw all that up there too. Oh yeah, the green bean casserole also with the fried onion straws on top. Oh, I'm getting
the
hungry.
mac and cheese. The mac and cheese was the greatest mac and cheese I ever had in my life.
Yeah. Oh, I think they are doing mac and cheese this year. I heard someone's bringing mac and cheese.
Do you do lobster mac and cheese? Not talking Thanksgiving, but
I love a lobster. Yeah, who doesn't love a lobster mac? No,
this guy. Dude,
no,
you're looking at him. No,
overrated.
Yeah, wildly overrated.
Cheese and seafood is kind of a hard combo.
Yeah, it's like pineapple and pizza. Don't do it, folks.
Next comment. Alina Dahl jumping back in. UW Oregon Saturday 4:30. I want the dogs to win. We know. to see Coach Dan lose, yeah, it's almost going to be more fun to see Lanning and watching his reaction. Alina continues, the Ducks kept us from going to the playoffs way back when. F them. Alina's in an F them mood today. I love it.
Yeah. See, that's what I was wondering. I was like, I couldn't remember or recall them stopping you guys because UW's been good historically.
Yeah.
Like they've been good and tough.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember like a game where it was like, oh, they knocked them out of contention or something. Because, back in the day, you lose one game and it's like, all right, well, I guess we're not going to the Natty. Like, and
well, we've had Lanning's
I'm
number. He's 0-3. Hopefully we make him 0-4. What do you think about college football in general, though, with the 12-team playoff and then sort of these games this weekend and then even some of these championship games next weekend? They don't have as much punch as they would have because – and they're trying to downplay it, but a lot of these teams are kind of already in.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple that are already in, and I love it because, it's who was it? Leach. Remember Coach Leach? He said, we have playoffs in every sport, in every division, like underneath, the bowl series. He's like, 1 AA, 2, 3. He's like, my neighbor's beer league softball has a playoff. He's like, we're the only ones that can't figure it out. And so to just think about historically all the Boise State teams, the TCUs, and TCU at least did get into the playoff a couple years ago and beat Michigan, and then Georgia. Just it's tough to reload. That's the depth is what we're talking about when you have those SEC schools in the Big Ten. You could get one game on them, the second one right away, and so. But yeah, you hope for the Cinderella story and someone like a Navy or, like these teams that have been playing great. JMU from a year ago would have been in, right?
Yeah.
So you hope to see one of them go far and who knows what can happen, right?
I think 12 is too many though. I think 8 would have been perfect. I think 12 is just a bit too much.
I hear you, but I don't know. I feel like if you get to like that top 10 and even towards 10, there might be a 2 or 3 loss team, but you get that top 10 and you leave, one team out that's like undefeated, but they didn't play the toughest schedule. I feel bad. I'm like, come on, let the little guy in. Let him in.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you on that. What do we got here? Who's next? There we go. John Langston jumping back in. Couple stats on Spoon. In single coverage this season, 42.9% completion rate allowed, 57.1 passer rating allowed. He's ranked 5th with a minimum of 5 games played and 10 targets as the nearest defender.
And again, I mean, I'm not only the president of the Spoon fan club, I'm also a client. This kid's unbelievable. And this is why he'll go to the Pro Bowl even without the numbers, but he's got a couple more weeks to rack up some numbers. But the sheer respect he's garnered from his peers and guys on the other team is unmatched. Just week in and week out, putting it on the line. Can't imagine. My body hurt at 240 pounds. He's 60 pounds later at 180. And just hits like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, brings it. Yeah. Elena Dahl jumping in. Lofa, I want you to wear a T-shirt that says "I love pineapple on pizza." It's the best. Yummy.
You couldn't pay me to wear that, girl.
Divisive issue. This is a very divisive issue.
And you know what? People, from time to time, they're like, well, and I'm like, I know what? They're like, well, I mean, you're like Polynesian, you don't like pineapple? I was like, I fucking love pineapple. What you talking about? However, I don't want that shit on a hot pizza. In no world has it ever seemed right or tasted good to me. It's like,
well, I gotta say, this is a divisive issue, and I don't want to stir the pot even further, but I was with you my whole life. I've even seen other people here in the comments being like, tell them Lofa, pineapple never belongs on pizza. I agreed with you all of you guys for a long time. Then I went on vacation in the islands and had pineapple on pizza there with the best pineapples ever. And the thing they did, which changed it for me, is it's not just like the pineapple and Canadian bacon or whatever. It's pineapple pepperoni on there because the spicy with the sweet actually changes it. Because just the ham and the pineapple, I'm with you. But if you put a little spice on there with it,
Oh yeah, you're right. I hate ham on pizza. Meat lovers, I leave that one out.
Yeah.
Because I get the gout, you know.
Axel's here. Axel MTG jumping in the chat. He says there are a lot of people ripping into Grubb for the issues on offense. How have you think he has done so far? How do you think he's done so far? I think he deserves a full season and off season before we come with the judgments.
I completely agree. We were rolling in the beginning of the season. Gino does have the most passing yards, I think still. But you don't have a run game. Like he's had to manufacture.
He also has the most picks, doesn't he?
I think he has one more than Mahomes. Yeah. Yeah. And so like you can't put the most picks and then, not having a run game. I've been impressed with him. Like even when he went to the quick screens that have been really successful, that's getting creative, right? That's what we've talked about here. In what can you do? Not just get the ball out quickly, but you need some to like replace, at least get 4 to 5 yards. Like it's like, okay, it's automatic. We got that, right? And that's what good running teams have. They're like, oh, we got 4 or 5 yards. Doesn't matter if the box is loaded. Like the Eagles would say, look what Saquon Barkley's done for them, because some of his runs have just been amazing. I mean, that O-line is good. Don't get me wrong. And they're healthy. I don't think they're missing anybody. Johnson, he missed a game or two, but so it's just, I've been impressed with him. He definitely deserves a full year in an off season, and it's only going to get better. So yeah, I think people have been probably a little too rough on Grubster.
Well, yeah, and I don't think Grubb is throwing the picks, by the way. Some of those picks are on Gino, and he knows that. For me, I think, it's just the offensive line and not being able to get the running game going to then establish the play action the way that they want to. So I agree with Axel here that we need to give them some time because we got to get that consistency in there and get those players in there. And I'm not a fan of just switching coordinators, coaches on either side of the ball after only 1 year anyway.
Yeah. And knock on wood, we're in first place. Just want to keep things in perspective.
Yep. We'll take care of business this weekend. Richard Bird jumping back in here on the show, and appreciate all the comments here, except for this one. He says, poor UW fans. Oregon is going to destroy them. Well, keep talking. We'll see.
Yeah, in a rivalry, anything can happen. I remember we were 1 game away from going to the national championship, which we did, of course, pull it out and destroy Oklahoma. But UCLA had like 5 wins, and they were even down. Maurice Jones-Drew he played hurt, tough dude. And it took up until the last onside kick. It came down to an onside kick. This was a game that like everyone thought we were going to destroy them,
Yeah.
And onside kick away from Matt Castle with just the silky mitts going in there. The backup quarterback. Just going in there and snagging the onside.
That's hilarious. That's funny. All right, what else we got? Let's see here. Anything else? I don't know if there's anyone else preloaded here. It says producer Katie's not here to tell me.
I know. It's hard.
What else
figure it out.
I don't really have anything else from this game. I mean, I sit back, relax, and enjoy it, everybody. Like I said, I think in terms of what the Seahawks want to get and gain out of respect from the rest of the league and sort of the national, they're always talking about respect. This is one of those games where you just got to go take care of business. There's no excuses if you drop this one. Road game, be damned. It doesn't matter. Go in there, take care of business, do what you got to do. Otherwise, this becomes like the Giants game earlier in the year, where down the stretch, these little games that you needed, these ones that you might have passed over or not be thinking about, you can't let them come back and bite you.
Yeah. I mean, just be like a series of missed opportunities like you're talking about. But just I've been very impressed with the improvement in the penalty region or area. It was just like, I was like, dude, you were literally like, that's something I felt probably more bad for Grubb than all the things that were mentioned. Is that okay? Oh, what's my best 2nd and 25 play? Well, let me think. Like, it's like shit. It's like, no, man, this is not where we wanted to be. Fellas, like we just, and so he's done a great job, I think, all things withstanding.
No, I think you make a great point. I never really think about the penalties in that way, but the defense stepping up and then also the taking care of penalties has really turned the team around. So whatever that message was during the bye week, which they shipped a couple guys out of town, they made some moves, they might have had a couple closed door meetings. I mean, that message has been received by these guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, real quick, this one doesn't pop up on the screen, but Melissa in the chat says, yes, pineapple and spicy pepperoni, the best. Yeah, there it is. So
we're family. I love you. We can agree to disagree. No, I'm good. Not gonna happen.
Well, speaking of trying it though, don't forget we got you on board for a Seattle dog this next week.
Yeah, I can't wait for
that. I'm so excited for that video.
What's on that again? Cream cheese,
grilled onions.
All right, I'll give it a try. Actually, wait.
Hey,
here, I'm looking at this one. Wait, 1 second.
Before we get out of here, hold on. Before we get out of here, let me read the thing. We're talking over each other. Let me read the thing for Delta. Go with the throw, everybody. Remember to sign up for 12 Status. Go to 12status.com. You get one free Delta Sky Mile for every yard that Gino or whoever else for the Seattle Seahawks throws for this weekend or any other weekend. This promo has been running for years. I mean, people who signed up for this 2 or 3 years ago are getting thousands of free Delta Sky Miles, and you could too. Go to 12status.com, sign up. You must be 18 years or older and a resident of Washington State to sign up. But do it, because there's free miles on the table there. And even if your friends and family, if they're not even Seahawks fans or whatever, just they take flights. Who doesn't take flights? Who can't use the extra miles? Tell your friends and family, hey, are you signed up for 12 Status? You should be, and go do it. Alina, I think, has the last comment here for this episode. Pineapple and green peppers, yum. Lane Staley on MTV Unplugged is awesome. There's a shout out to Lane Staley from our last episode again. Pineapple and green peppers, interesting combo.
I like green peppers. But wait, there is one question that I see out here.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Jill Nearing. Yes, there. Yes. See, look, I don't know who clicked that, but is that Michael? Thank you, Big Mike. Do you guys think we should pay Gino good money despite leading the league in picks, or should we look for a new QB? I believe for the price, there are so many worse options out there, and I don't think people are taking that into account when we're looking at all these other teams play. I'm saying it's not even like by default. I've been impressed with him. This is not his best season. His last 2 years were better, seasons for him. But it's just, depends on the price. But I'm telling you, today's price is not going to be yesterday's price. Like with the picks, okay, but the yards, and then owners and other coaches are going to take into consideration, like, okay, well, he's won 10 come from behind victories, like the most in the NFL, right? Why has he had to do that? Oh, he doesn't have a run game. We do. He also doesn't have a defense. We do. And our defense is good the last 2 weeks, but we were not statistically great in the last 3 years. So when they put these things into consideration, that's what goes into these decisions. It's like, okay, and is his skill set going to, erode or, go away quickly? No, he's got a cannon for an arm. He still can use his legs, doesn't do it often, but I mean, we saw the opening game of the year when he took that 40-yarder. He's gotten, out of the pocket a couple of times. He still looks fast, but he's not a runner. He's a pocket passer. He's a true pocket passer. So I just think a lot of our fans are going to be surprised when they see how many teams are after Geno if we don't re-sign him.
Yeah. Richard Bird put one back in here at the last second. He says, don't know what's worse, pineapple on pizza or ketchup on eggs.
Whoa, pump the brakes. Who doesn't put ketchup on eggs? You're not?
You go ketchup on eggs.
It's like I don't even know who you are.
You do? I did when I was 5 years old.
I barely put eggs on my ketchup. That's how much ketchup I use.
I go salsa. I'm a salsa on the eggs guy.
Ew. Ew, brother, ew.
Well, that's all the time we have for on the food podcast this time, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. No, you guys enjoy the Jets game out there, everybody. I mean, let's go get this one. And you know that Lofa and I will be here live to talk about it after it all goes down there in New Jersey.
Hold up. I got one more. Dalton H. And I know this guy. How dare you, first of all. Yeah. Can have all those passing yards, but the fact he's top in the league for yards with only 12 touchdowns, so same amount of interceptions as touchdowns, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So it's not like he's got like 5 touchdowns and the most interceptions, right, ladies and gentlemen? But
still a 1-to-1 ratio.
Can't get it done when it matters. The most, Dalton, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills right now, brother, because he has the most comebacks. Why would you have the most comebacks if you can't get it done? Riddle me that. All right. I'm waiting for him to type into that chat.
True, but I could play devil's advocate and say having to come. I could play devil's advocate, though, and say you shouldn't have to come back at all.
Okay, I'll give you that. Where are we ranked defensively in his tenure here?
No, I know. I'm not going to argue with you on this. You and I are in agreement on Geno. I love Geno, especially for the price.
This is everything I said about Russ back when he was here. The number one scoring defense 4 years in a row. Were all the moments majestic? It was some of the most incredible plays I've ever seen in my life. Like, Russ has had better plays in a single game than I've had in a year. But my whole thing was, bro, if we're number one, like no one's better than us at keeping people out of the end zone, why does it take you coming back? Like, why does the other team have the lead? Because on paper, no one scores on us. That's my whole thought process.
I feel you on that. You know what else I'm feeling? My brother-in-law has a pork butt that's been smoking since last night. Oh, I can smell it. I got to get up there.
I feel my gout flaring. I'll stay here for a few. I want to answer some of these haters. No, go ahead. You jump off, Brett. Mike, if you got a couple minutes.
I'm not going anywhere. But we are out of time on the show. That's it, everybody, for us today. Right. But we will be here live after the game as per usual. Check out our sponsors, epicseats.com, melon.com, 12status.com with Delta and everybody else in between, Simply Seattle. Make sure you get on the score prediction, everybody. I don't want to disappoint you though. If there's one more, because every time we start to go, the internet's crapping out. I'm just trying to make this a quality episode before we linger too long. Give me one more.
No, but
yell at somebody else, and then we gotta
go. Chad, sriracha on the eggs. I dig that. Alina, appreciate you as always. Geno's the man. Melissa, yes, school them. Geno is a top QB. Jill, I was your first jersey. You were 2 years old. That's amazing. I'm old, but thank you. I'm cutting off. Oh, what? Hey, I love you guys. We appreciate you. And go Hawks. We got to take care of business. And right. We'll see you on the live after.
Hands in. Break it down for us.
Just thankful for everybody. To steal a line from Jay. I'm just thankful for all y'all.
Yeah.
So thankful on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thankful.